Shema Israel. Hope you enjoy this next study. My name's Dee. This is my wife, Millie.
So if you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you wish to reach out to us, you can email us at devotedtoyah@gmail.com.
Exodus 12, verse 5. It says, "Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats." And then it says, "Now you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at twilight. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat." Verse 8, "Then they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its entrails. You shall let none of it remain until morning. And what remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire. And thus you shall eat it with your belt on your waist, with your sandals on your feet, and with your staff in your hand. So you shall eat it in a hurry, in haste.
Oh,
It is Yahuwah's Passover."
did you read verse 10?
Verse 10 says, "You shall let none of it remain until morning, and what remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire."
Oh, I gotta read the Septuagint.
Okay, let's read the LXX Septuagint, which is the Greek Old Testament version, which predates the Masoretic. What you got, D-Rail?
I got straight up Messiah right here. "Nothing shall be left of it till the morning, and a bone of it you shall not break. But that which is left of it till the morning you shall burn with fire." They left that out.
A bone of it you shall not break. Very
His legs did
nice.
not get broken.
Wow. Yeah, that's in another, I think Isaiah maybe or something like that.
I got goosebumps.
Well, cool. That was in Exodus 12,
Yeah,
huh?
they took that out.
Very
Masoretic
nice.
took them.
I like that. Okay, let's go to my notes. I'll make it bigger. One more. How about that? Is that good, D-Rail? Is that good or you want it bigger? All right. All right, so verse 5. Again, "Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats." So not done yet. We haven't done this portion yet of the notes. Okay. Verse 5, "Lamb without blemish." Leviticus chapter 1, verse 3. It says, "If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yahuwah." So these are just cross references to verse 5, the portion of lamb without blemish. So we're just looking up cross references of without blemish. That's all. Leviticus 1:10, "And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish." So no sores on it, no broken legs, can't be blind, can't have a disease on it. No blemishes on it in that way. Leviticus 22, verse 19 to 24. "You shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats, but whatever has a blemish." Oh, you know what? This is like King James. I can already tell. I copied and pasted this from the TSK website. So let me. I'm not a big fan King James anymore. Let me go to my scripture, Leviticus 22. Verse 19 to 24. It says, 19, you shall offer of your own free will a male without blemish from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever has a defect you shall not offer, for it shall not be acceptable on your behalf. And whoever offers a sacrifice of a peace offering to Yahuwah to fulfill his vow, or a freewill offering from the cattle or the sheep, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. I just want to make a side note that in the book of Acts, Paul took a vow with some other brothers and actually performed a sacrifice in the book of Acts. Oh, yes, they did. I just read it this week. My wife's like, I don't think they completed it. So I'm gonna actually look it up for y'all. All right. So Paul urged to make peace. It says, therefore, do what we tell you. We have 4 men who have taken a vow. Take them and be purified with them, and pay their expenses, so that they may shave their heads, and that all may know that those things of which they were informed concerning you, which are accusations that Paul came to preach against the law and change the customs of the law, those are false. It says that those rumors concerning you are nothing, but that you yourself also walk orderly and keep the law. But concerning the Gentiles who believe, we have written and decided that they should observe no such thing, except that they should keep themselves from things offered to idols, from blood, from things strangled, and from sexual immorality. So does that mean they can lie? Does that mean that they can? No. What the context here is about Acts 15, where he's saying we've given the Gentiles a starting point. We're not trying to overwhelm them to keep this, the sacrificial laws or other things. We want to give them a starting point, and we want them to focus on these things first. It's not saying that this is the only stuff that they need to do. That wouldn't even make sense with a Christian values, because there's a whole list of other Christian values that is not listed in this list. So that's not the context. A lot of Christians say, oh, you see here, they don't have to observe the law. That's not what that's saying. It's saying that we're not holding them accountable to keeping the law the same way we're holding accountable somebody who was born and raised under the law and has heard the law their whole lives growing up. We're not holding them to the same accountability. We're giving the Gentiles a different starting point, and we're working with them, meeting them where they're at. All right, so anyway, then the story goes on. I believe it's in the beginning of the next chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. There we go. My bad. Then Paul took, so this is right after, my bad, it was right after the story I just read, right? So he's getting advice from a leader, okay, from an apostle. He's getting advice to take on a vow so that people can know that the rumors about Paul teaching against the law or changing the law, saying the law of Moses has changed, is a lie. And right after he takes that vow, verse 26, it says, then Paul took them, and the next day, having been purified with them, entered the temple to announce the expiration of the days of purification, at which time an offering should be made for each one of them. Now, when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews from Asia, seeing him in the temple, stirred up the whole crowd. So they did it. This is not they were thinking about it and didn't do it. It doesn't make any contextual sense. If anybody says that, it just doesn't even make sense according to the story. It says here, right here, Paul took the men, having been purified with them, entered the temple to announce the expiration of the days of purification. They announced it. That's what they were doing. At which time an offering should be made for each one of them. That's part of it. If Paul didn't participate in this, then it would be true what they were accusing him of, because he would not be fulfilling the part of the law that needs to be fulfilled. So then the accusations would actually be true. But the reason why Paul was doing this was to prove those accusers wrong. So it makes sense that he actually went the whole way through with this Torah requirement. So that was my point going back to that passage. It's a little side note, but very important, I believe. Leviticus 22. To fulfill his vow, right? Verse 21. And whoever offers a sacrifice, a peace offering to Yahuwah to fulfill his vow, or a freewill offering from the cattle or the sheep, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. Those that are blind or broken or maimed, or have an ulcer or eczema or scabs, you shall not offer to Yahuwah. Praise Yah that he actually goes into more specifics about that. And this is the list that goes into specifics. You shall not offer this to Yahuwah, nor make an offering by fire of them on the altar to Yahuwah, either a bull or a lamb that has any limb too long or too short, you may offer as a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. And Paul took on a vow with those 4 men. That's without a doubt. So any Christian that says the law's been done away with after the death and resurrection of Yahusha, or they say Jesus Christ, you tell them that's a flat out lie. You're absolutely being dishonest with the text of scripture. You're just not being sincere. You're not allowing the scriptures to interpret themselves. You have to insert your own ideas to come to that conclusion. Oh, the reason why Paul was doing that is because he didn't have the full revelation yet of what Yahushua. Yes, he did. He wouldn't be approved as an apostle going around doing ministry and approved by the other apostles saying, listen to Paul. He has a real ministry. That wouldn't happen. But Christianity would have you believe that, oh, there's this thing called progressive revelation where they gained more knowledge as they got farther and farther away from the actual ministry and life of Yahusha the Messiah while he was on the earth. The farther you get from that, the more revelation you get. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
Yahusha would have taught that to his disciples. Hey, guys, listen, when I die and I resurrect, the law is going to be changed. He would have made that very clear, but he didn't.
Otherwise, you're adding and taking away.
Yeah. Which according to the Torah, according to Deuteronomy, it says you shall not add or take away. And a lot of these Christians would tell you, when I tell certain Christians, not all of them, the Trinitarian Christians usually, when I would say I believe the Father is the Son, they was like, oh no, the Son is the Son. He's a man and all this other stuff. Okay, fine. Then he as a man needs to follow the law, right? He's an Israelite, right? He needs to follow the law. Oh, but he's God too, so he can do whatever he wants. Oh, so he can do whatever he wants as God, and he could do whatever he wants as a human as well? No, he voluntarily made himself a human. So I can understand if he was just only God, 100% God. He wasn't born of a virgin or wasn't human. If he just came down to the earth as a person, fine. But he chose to become a human, which makes he had to submit to the law. That's what the scripture says. He was born under the law, sinless. That means he had to submit to that. He can't add or take away from the Torah. So anyway, went on a little rabbit trail, but I can't help myself. It's all over the scriptures. Almost every chapter we read, we're going to get some type of revelation or a hint or a tip to the fact that the Torah is relevant today and it's consistent with the New Testament. It's beautiful. There's a lot of consistency. Anyway,